What's going on, everybody? This is Drew here. I want to welcome you all to a brand new episode of Phoenix Down. This is Phoenix Down 115.2, and we are continuing our playthrough of The Sinking City. Today I have with me Matt.
Hello.
And Anthony.
I am here as well.
Well, I'm glad you are, because I think you have a walkthrough up, because I can't remember half the stuff that happened in this episode. I know the big things that happened.
I think the biggest problem with... So, up until now, the cases have kind of had a clear beginning and end.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure right after the last case, which is fathers and sons, we pick up immediately. I don't think there was like kind of any break between it. You just start.
Yeah. Well, you talk to the guy who's like, all right, I'm going to get you out of here. Okay, I set up a meeting with the contact that you wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
And it was the priest.
Yes.
That's Evernote.
Evernote.
Yeah.
I don't know why I want to keep calling him Evernote, but it's definitely not.
But, yeah, Evernote. So if you have talked to people before, you may have ran into him. He was the priest that was preaching outside of the fish market.
I don't recall him looking as rough.
I don't either.
Yeah. One thing I thought was a little funny, too, I feel like every time I looked at the screen, it was like, oh, Evernote is expecting Fred, not you, so stay on your toes. Like, I feel like I saw that 3 or 4 or 5 times, but it didn't seem like in the end that had any, it didn't really matter.
Right.
I think it's kind of a setup to have you sort of worrying about that as a player.
Yeah.
And then sort of quickly pulling the rug out.
Okay, was it actually meant to be a little bit of a bait and switch? Because I'm like, something's coming up, and then nothing happens. I'm like,
I think so because you quickly find out, because like you're being told that he's a higher up in EOD, but you quickly find out he's left the EOD.
Yeah, he's against them.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, well, then what does it matter who I am? Right? So
yeah,
we go and get the address for Evernote's hideout.
Yeah.
And we should note that Evernote is Evernote Blackwood. So even though it's weird to refer to somebody by their first name, what type of first name is Evernote, I suppose?
Yeah, not too many Evernotes around.
Yeah. I decided to just Google Evernote, and literally it is the only person that comes up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and,
the Blackwoods were like a predominant family, right?
Yes, the man literally he's the last
right.
of that family. So,
yeah.
I was trying to think if it was
his...
a weird enough name to be like an anagram of something, but I don't think so.
I was wondering if it was a pull from something else.
Yeah.
But no. Also, I forgot to mention right at the beginning. But remember how you saw the video footage? By the way, I'm looking at a picture of him now, Graham, because you went with the father.
Yep.
And Graham was killed.
Yeah.
And you got the little cutscene back in the hotel. I got no cutscene.
Okay.
And I like the look of the war wound that Graham covers up. It's pretty neat. So we go to Evernote's flooded office. And
that's right.
we quickly find out that the KKK has been there and has taken him after the investigation, because we find a bunch of dead bodies of Innsmouthers.
Yeah,
yes.
I imagine him just kicking them
murdered.
all. Because he's like, is that Evernote? That's not Evernote.
Well, when you watch the playback, they're there for Evernote, but then they murder everyone anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're racists. We're trying to still find Professor Doe, and there's some information about that. And we're like, alright, so we're going to have to go and find
Evernote.
So I'm just kind of like, this is a really weirdly detailed, to the point where they're using the little symbol for the like lootable containers. They're using the proper symbol that's in game. Yeah, so we figure out that, like, look, this was an organized attack. I better go and look at the police station to find similar crimes. So we find out about the Orion Club. So we go there, and we break in, and there is a dead KKK member on the floor. This is a great beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Payback.
So we go through into the basement, and find a guy who's been standing guard. You can't kill him. I wanted to.
Yeah,
He's
I wanted
wounded.
to.
Point the gun at him. He's like, I prefer another type of shot, but okay. But you look at the illusory wall behind him, and there's a dead Innsmouther on the floor. And then you follow a trail upwards, and you start climbing through the building through holes in the floor, because the doors are locked.
Yeah.
And as you go floor by floor, you find out, like, hey, there's a lot more dead racists in here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I enjoyed this part of watching a bunch of dead KKK members. And now I understand why they made that warning. Because it wasn't just like a tertiary for flavor thing. They do actually have the KKK play a pivotal role
Yes.
in this.
You also can see why they're all dead, because I feel like there was multiple sections in this week's play that had a lot of enemies, a lot more than I've been used to so far in the game.
Wild beasts, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I took the advice of scouring a lot of weapons and ammo and components from the infected zones. But now I'm thinking to myself that I may be screwed later in the game, because those are all the easy caches, and I don't think they all...
Oh, caches actually fill back up.
Yeah.
The infected zone ones do, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to be away for quite... Like, I find it's like, you're at least covered if you save and start up your game again.
Yeah, okay.
A couple loads or fast travels usually does it, too.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but in infected zones, the caches basically are like randomly spawned in, right? They're not always in the same spot.
No, they're always in the same spot.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Usually there's one at the entrance, there's some further in, but usually there's like at least one right near the entrance. And if it's a good infected zone, you can jump in, not trigger anything, grab stuff out of the case, jump back over the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had at least one point somewhere around this in the game, I just took a detour and went through like 4 or 5 infected zones and filled everything up before I could continue.
Yeah, so I believe on one of the floors you can actually see that... Oh no, this is not it. Where is it?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is where you can see that, like, Evernote escaped by drawing symbols on the wall that summons the wild beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's summoning them.
And so we get up to the top floor, we have a key now, and you have a conversation with the most inbred-looking white man
But he's also very posh sounding.
I'm very posh sounding. I'm the Grand Wizard.
Yeah. He says that he's the Grand Wizard.
And like all people that don't like white supremacists, specifically the KKK, they have the worst names for themselves. So I leaned into the whole... His name is Gordon Meyer. It doesn't matter. He doesn't live much past this.
No.
Like
and apparently, apparently, no matter what happens, you always end up in a gunfight. But if you provoke them and ask him, "Oh, a wizard? So do a magic trick," and he'll be like, "I beg your pardon." He's like, "Pull a rabbit out of a hat," or better yet, a hood. I suppose that's more appropriate. I never. And then you get in a fight with him. But I had the shotgun out already, so I just, like, blasted two of them at the same time, and then just kind of ducked aside and blasted the third.
So something different happened with me. So I did the same thing. I said, do the magic trick. He got mad, and they all kind of aggroed at the same time. Well, it's him standing there, and then two hooded guys behind him. Well, the two hooded guys just started blasting, and they shot him and killed him. And I was like, well, that was easy, and blew the other guys away, and that was it.
Didn't expect this game would have friendly fire.
No, I didn't either. But yeah, no, they straight up killed their friend. They killed their own Grand Wizard.
Literally, the trophy is called "It's Kind of Magic." Ask the Imperial Wizard to show you a magic trick. I love it. All right. So then we find out where Blackwood is hiding, and so you go in and you immediately have a nightmare cutscene where something is watching you.
I don't remember this.
Do you remember this?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Something is watching us.
I believe that's the one. Or is it the one? Like I said, this case ends without sort of any resolution and just immediately pops you into the next one.
The next one, yeah.
Like, very quickly, like, the end of this mission just sort of goes, okay, we're done. Move on to the next part of the mission.
Yeah, you don't go check in with somebody or anything like that.
Yeah, in fact...
We do wrap it up with the dive, though, right?
Yes,
and that,
but the dive... Again, you don't end this mission by going to anyone. The dive, you don't even choose to go back.
Yeah.
It just ends.
Yeah, but it feels like every time we've done a dive, it's ended a chapter, right?
I suppose the chapter ends, but like to begin the next section, you have to go somewhere still.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I think
like
that's
you
even
have to return to Throgmorton in the next chapter to really start that chapter off, and in this, you just are already on.
Yeah,
like there's nobody to talk to. They just send you on your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even weirder at this end of this second chapter that we played, because that seems to end right before the thing that would end the chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. I'm just trying to...
The problem is they're not chapters, they're technically cases.
And this, we're definitely not... We're on chapters now, because we're not doing cases, really, right?
Yeah.
I will say this... I did a side mission, and I don't know when it becomes available. But it has to deal with the library girl.
Okay.
Who has her mouth sewn shut.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right.
That is a fucked up side mission.
You find out why she's sewn up?
Yeah, partially. You find out that she used to be a singer.
Oh.
Well, it must not have been very good.
And that she has she has some lineage with witches that escaped from Salem. And...
Well, I've finally been there, now that I live close.
Siren?
You summon the witch and fight her.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm just going to say, like, very Ed Gein sort of stuff happens at one point. And I was like... He even mentions that it's fucked up. Like, I'm surprised the words... This is fucked up doesn't come out of the character's mouth. But it involves a teddy bear that is made out of something. And you go into the past to kind of see the event happen. Yeah. It's a very fascinating little side mission. If you guys haven't done it, I'm not going to kind of spoil the outcome.
How do you
other
get it?
than you fight the witch. You just go there. You just go to the library and you can get the mission from her. Because apparently at some point she sent a letter to me, but I don't remember getting the letter.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
It's a pretty significantly long... It's almost as long as a standard case.
Huh, okay.
one of the better side missions, because sometimes the side missions are just go here, fight a monster, return, right? Like the Doctor. So, yeah, it's interesting. Also, this is the mission I think you see from behind the like bottles on the shelf or whatever. It looks like somebody's watching him. And then it kind of comes back to your sanity's dropped to 0. And I immediately gave myself like the psych drug to fill it back up.
Yeah, I did too. It's actually the only time in this game I've taken it.
Yeah,
I've done it a couple times where
I've
I'm
had
just like,
to.
yeah, we're moving into some shitty parts. So,
So let me ask you this, and I feel like this may be a glitch that I'm experiencing. There are times, particularly whenever I'm trying to look at something, the screen will just fade to black.
Yeah, that happened to me. It hasn't happened to me until almost the end of this play section, but it happened to me. And but the other glitches that I've experienced have mostly been lighting related as well, I feel.
Yeah,
that's not happened to me at all.
Yeah.
I realize I'm playing another version from you, but that's not happened to me at all.
It's weird. It's
Very
like
weird.
It's like the screen will just fade. It's not even like an instant blackness. It's just like it kind of fades, almost like it's part of the game.
Yeah,
But
I was
I'm
waiting
just
for
like-
a cutscene to kick in.
Yeah, nothing happens, and I'm just like, okay, well, I can hear myself moving around. I'm like, what's going on? And like, I guess if I move away from something, it just comes back. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's because I'm too close to a wall or a door or something, and it's weird. Like, it's usually whenever I'm trying to look at something, like, trying to click on a clue, or whenever I'm using the mind's eye, trying to look at something on like a wall or something like that. And I'm just like, what? It went dark again. This has happened like probably 3 or 4 times.
It happened to me specifically in the top of the chapel at the end of this section. When you're on the second floor and you just go all the way to the back left corner. That corner was just a blackout. Even when I turned around and I was looking at like the lamp or the light, if I would back into the darkness, the whole screen would go dark.
Huh.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. It happened to me in the manor close to the end before you go to the cannery. Yeah.
The other big thing that's happened to me that I noticed, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but when we were in one of the big manors and I was outside, I could see the light reflection from inside the building under the wall. So it was like, the light was going slipping under the wall, even though it was a thick old building.
These are my favorite types of like, oh yeah, this is like, we did this, we kind of overachieved for a budget, but you can sometimes see the cracks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you gotta think about it. There's no way this game had AAA budget. And yet, at times, like, I, like, think, God damn, these are really good fucking cutscenes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of detail, like, and I'm playing on old hardware, of course, but, like, you look at this, and then you look at, not to pull it again, but the more I play this game, the more I see I see how they definitely worked on that original Call of Cthulhu, and some of their work was not changed when given to the other. I can't say for sure what, but I would not be surprised to find out assets that were made by Frogwares were used when it came to making Call of Cthulhu. Because, like, Call of Cthulhu was a tighter experience in terms of, like, technical quality, but, like, the game sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe everything's based on a dice roll in that video game. Oh my god.
So, remind me again, Spiders, did they do the Sherlock Holmes game? Because I remember, didn't Frogwares do one?
So Frogwares does all the Sherlock Holmes games.
Okay.
Spiders, we were talking about this on the last podcast, Spiders did Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper and A Testament of Sherlock Holmes, but they did the ports. So Frogwares developed the originals, and Spiders did the ports of Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper for 360, and The Testament of Sherlock Holmes on PS3 and Xbox 360.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I played The Testament of Sherlock Holmes. I played on
That
PC.
is Frogwares.
I played on PC, yeah.
And, like, apparently the new Sherlock Holmes game is kind of like The Sinking City.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And it's episodic, right? Because
kind
I saw it was like episode 1 or whatever.
No, I think it's just that they're... It's chapter 1, but I think it's just the origin story.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's got, like... Yeah, because you're 21 years old and you're Sherlock Holmes.
Gotcha. Their Sherlock Holmes games are decent. Like, the Testament of Sherlock Holmes is legit.
Yeah, I'd like to try one. I just always, every time I saw the name or the logo or something, I'm like, oh, this is just a budget title.
No. I mean, Spiders is becoming a legit...
The RPG people.
Yeah.
And Frogwares has been doing basically point-and-click adventures, and now expanding upon that genre for a long time as well. Because Frogwares doesn't have much outside of point-and-click games, and Spiders generally only does RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like looking at their again, point-and-click, 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 point-and-click. They did World of Battles Morningstar, which was an MMO real-time strategy. Point and click Testament of Sherlock Holmes. Meg Runner Dark Pulse was an action puzzle game that they did.
That was Frogwares?
That was Frogwares. And then Adventure. Sinking City is adventure, survival horror. And then Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 is adventure. So... And then they apparently do, I didn't know that. They also do casual games under the name Water Lily Games. It's a sub-studio, but they do a bunch of Sherlock Holmes stuff. I'm assuming these are all, like, find a hidden item shit.
Gotcha. Anyway.
Ooh, they did it. But they did a Sherlock Holmes game for the DS. Sherlock Holmes and the Mystery of Osborne House.
Interesting.
No, they're saying uninspiring puzzle, uninteresting plot, repetitive music, and lack of hints.
Yeah, never mind.
Never mind. I'm disappointed. It looks like they're just really basic versions. Oh no, it's hidden items. It's hidden items. Fucking Mystery of the Sherlock Holmes and the Persian Carpet. Recent reviews are mixed. All reviews are mostly negative.
Ooh, okay.
We all have to come from somewhere, Frogwares.
Yeah. But then I would say Spiders is probably the top notch of the 3 Euro-jank that we like to name.
Who's the third one?
Piranha
Who's the third
Bytes.
one again? Piranha Bytes. Oh. Yeah, and they're the bottom.
But see, I like some of their games.
I know.
Risen
like
is
Elex.
Not a bad series.
I like Elex, but my issue with those games is they never learn anything. I don't feel like there's a
Was Elix
God,
Piranha Bytes?
Yes.
I really want to play Elex.
It's a great concept, but fucking look up how to fucking game the system and just use like a flamethrower and kill everything, because it's near impossible to play that game without like finding every workaround or just cheating on PC.
Because it's too hard otherwise, or it's
yes, because they don't learn. They don't look at every good game developer. You see like a constant like, okay, we are understanding how games should be designed. Somehow Gothic understands sort of like the principles of gameplay better than Elex does. There's almost a 20-year gap.
The Divinity series is also in there.
Yeah,
It's a different company, but
yeah, I don't remember. And that's I
Larian.
think actually different. Well, isn't it different publishers or different developers now and then too?
I thought Larian always
Larian,
did.
I think Larian did Divinity. Oh
They-
no, they did.
Yeah.
Divine Divinity. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the same team. All right, well, I'm wrong.
Divinity 2 is legit. I mean, it's Euro-jank all to hell, but
Original Sin 2 or Divinity 2 Ego Draconis?
Ego Draconis.
Okay, wow.
Um,
Anyways,
yeah.
they're in their own category. They're not part of the big three janky
No.
studios as far as I'm concerned.
Larian is top notch now. Like they're really good. Like Original Sin 2.
But I mean, like,
you can't beat those games.
but you look at their previous work, and like, it's not like that. It's crazy because it's just kind of like updating Baldur's Gate. You know what I mean? Because Divinity's always been a little bit more like top down, has it not?
No. Divinity originally started off as like a Dragon Age-ish kind of game.
Oh,
Yeah.
So like a third person action RPG. Not Diablo-ish.
So the Original Sin's the ones that stopped.
Yes, the Original Sins turned into more
never
of like
mind.
a strategy game.
They can be added to the group if you think they're janky enough.
Ego Draconis is pretty rough, but I mean it's still a good game.
Is it fucking Risen jank?
Yeah, it's up there.
Risen's a rough one.
Yeah.
Risen 2, where your character's going over different heights of terrain, but it just looks like they're fucking
floating.
Got the hover boots on from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Piranha Bytes just doesn't seem to. And I want to play ELX too, but like, I was so disappointed with the difficulties, like the lack of difficulty curve. It's just like this game is impossible. Enjoy from Piranha Bytes, and it's like, well, guys, like you've been at this 21 years now. You can do better.
What kind of growth in sales have they seen, do you know, over these? Because it looks like a pretty tight set of games that they've got. It's only like 10 games, right? Nine games?
Gothic, like, let's put it this way. THQ Nordic owns them. They have 31 employees. It now has 32 as of May 2019. Or June 2019, I should say. I can't imagine I don't think they do poorly, but like Elex did not set the world on fire, but it sold enough because it was sold at a lower price when it came out. It was $40, $50.
I think it was 40.
Yeah, so it was $50 here. So actually, may have been 40 here too. Like that's so it's like, well, you know, it's not being sold as a AAA game.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not a AAA game. Risen, however, was sold kind of like a AAA game.
Yeah.
I think it was full price when it released, and it's like, well, don't do that. That's a bad call. But like, I think a lot of people still like Gothic because they're doing a fucking remake.
No, yeah, Gothic has always had kind of a big cult following.
So it's, you know, I'm just checking to make sure it's before I say anything. Is this the one where they can finish it in like 5 minutes? Is it Gothic or is it Two Worlds?
Two Worlds.
It's Two Worlds.
Two Worlds you can finish in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 26 seconds of Two Worlds.
Because you run into the main boss of the
boss
game
early on, and then
at the very beginning of the game, and you get the villagers who can't die to kill the main boss because he's aggroed to them, and then you just get the final cutscene because you killed the main boss of the game.
Beautiful.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I like all these people still. I still like, as much as it drives me insane that they're not moving. I don't think they've increased in talent over time, but Piranha Bytes still puts care into their games. I don't think they don't care. I just don't think that they learn the right lessons from what they make. Like, maybe Elex 2 is got a easier time, but like Elex, when it came out, shouldn't have had the difficulty scaling that it had after doing RPGs for 20 years. We've gone off track. Jesus Christ.
I know. Yeah.
Anyways, It's Frogwares does some weird shit, and it's like I'm kind of interested to play their other game. I don't even remember how we got here. This is just I
was just going
keep rambling.
just to show the Sherlock Holmes games are decent. That was it.
In summary.
In
summary, they're very different games, except for the new one apparently, which again I really want to play.
Is that the Crimes and Punishment? What? Which?
No.
That is theirs, but that's not the one.
That's not the new one.
New one is called Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1.
Inventive name.
Yeah. Anyway. Not Throgmorton. Evernote.
Evernote is... So using the Mind Palace...
he's running he's running some kind of church.
Yeah, he's...
But
Give me a second here.
church,
I'm looking at these shots.
the church isn't a
yeah,
church.
he's running a
cult.
sort of church.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. And he's pointed at a map. And we use the deduction to find out that the EOD is dangerous and the EOD planned the kidnapping, which means the EOD realizes they need Harriet. Doe. And we realize, oh god, we have to go into the sea. So we go down to Clamshore Marina Dive, and we dive to the bottom of the ocean using the exact same cutscene.
Yeah.
This is what we call saving cost. And we go down into the caves after going through the water. I'm starting to get tired of the fucking dives, boys. It's not scary anymore. It's not creepy. It's just annoying.
Yeah, because the climbing in this game sucks.
Yeah, the climbing sucks.
Underwater does not help
biggest-
it either.
No.
The biggest enemy is not the creatures. It's not the darkness of the ocean. No.
Steam
It's
vents.
steam vents.
Yeah. What?
And then I'm sitting there cranking the little wheel on the side to rebuild pressure in my suit.
Yeah.
Fun. So we enter the underwater caves.
Evernote's there.
Evernote's there, clearly hurt, and we're like... There's a bunch of bald... It says zealots. I'm going to say bald-headed fucks, because it sounds more fun. And
Sure.
they come at you, and you just fucking...
Yeah.
Like, just kill them.
The AI in this game is not very good.
Nope.
The AI on human enemies
Yes.
is not very good.
Yes.
Which is weird because the creatures know to get behind you.
Yeah. So I'm standing there with a shotgun.
And they just run.
These guys are like, I'm going to beat you with my fists. And I'm
It's
like...
the suicide
boom.
bomber scream from... yeah. Thank you. At least you're on the same page as me.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. The headless kamikazes.
Yeah. One of the it may be the best villain. It's so dumb. Anyways. Yeah, so...
They don't have a head. How can
Evernote.
they yell?
I don't want to know. I don't care.
It's actually a fart.
Should be a
God
gurgle.
doesn't make mistakes. Right? God doesn't. God put those bombs into their hands and allowed them to scream with no head. All right, God doesn't make mistakes. So we speak to Evernote, and Evernote's like, Evernote says some shit here, and I don't remember what it is, but it's like, I'm gonna die. Leave me here. All right.
Go get
I have
Harry.
no problem with this.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't trust this guy. But whatever. So we move in into the Temple of Dagon. And there's a bunch of, like, walls that we have to, like, walk up to and observe. And then you go into, like, the vision mode to, like, dissipate the walls. But you get some, like, lore added. And definitely some Cthulhu-looking stuff. And then we go in, and we find Harriet Doe. By the way, you can kind of see what Dagon looks like here, because I don't think they're going to show him in the game. But if you look at one of the pillars in the main area, there's like a big lizard creature sort of climbing up it. That's Dagon.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of fishy looking, aquatic, but not like kind of fishy but lizardy looking thing. That's what Dagon kind of looks like. And we find Harriet Doe. And can I just say, part of me kind of laughed because I'm like, this is the type of shit that like you expect crazy people to be doing, but usually with their own feces. She's drawing on a wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, alright, you're coming with me. And she starts like speaking about the prophecy and yeah, he's like, you need to come with me.
She's the chosen.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm the chosen. I have dreams. And it's like, I have dreams too. And she's like, this can't be it. Alright, give me a moment. And then you go into the
Deduction.
You go into the Mind Palace again. And you can either be like, there can only be one.
Yeah. We'll do the Highlander.
And then the Highlander. You get the Highlander special, or you go, we can both get out of here.
Yeah.
And I chose, we can both get out of here.
I did too.
Pretty sure I said there can only be one.
Look at you. Did
you kill her right then and there?
I'm fucking killing everybody.
Well, my intent was not to kill her, was to work with her.
She didn't want to be worked with, so you were like, fuck you, bitch.
She did not.
Put
She pulled out a
bullet in her
gun, and that was the end of her.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Didn't think that was going to happen. Alrighty.
So I'll be fully honest with you. I knew there was an achievement for saying no, there can only be one.
I did not.
I did not.
So I saved my game
You
there.
saved.
And I said no, I'm the one, and she pulled out a gun. Fun fact, a little bit more jankier. When she was originally standing there, she was holding a book. She pulled out a gun, and the book is now sitting on top of the gun. And she's shooting at me. At first, I thought she was shooting me with a book.
Have you guys seen the characters on the streets load in their default pose?
No.
It is not a T pose.
Okay.
Which makes it a little bit easier, but it's close enough. They load in, and their legs are close-ish together, and their arms are kind of at an angle at their sides.
Okay.
So they kind of look like they're just kind of standing there at first, and then they'll go pop, and they'll pop into place into whatever action they're doing.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite things. I try to run down the streets to see it. Oh, it's glorious. It's like, especially when coming out of buildings. That's when I notice it the most. Oh, this person's just standing there, and then pop, they're like actually laying on the ground. They're like, I'm sleeping. Oh, okay.
There was
suspicious.
I used to call it the Oblivion Shuffle. Cause, and they did it in Skyrim, they did it in Oblivion, where obviously you're supposed to be seeing a scene play out, but you got there too fast. It happens in Fallout as well, where you see like two characters start from like a walking speed to like completely hauling ass to going back to walking speed. And I used to, every time I see it, I was like, oh, there's the Oblivion Shuffle.
There's a somebody finished, I think, Fallout 3 or whatever by doing something similar where there's a character that is supposed to start a cutscene with you. And they did the whole game without having that cutscene trigger.
Because they couldn't chase after them fast enough?
They couldn't chase after them fast enough, but they always would catch up.
Yeah.
So there's these sequences where the guy's like, I'm doing this, and then... and then he'll turn around, and at the end of the hallway, the guy is there, and there's no way through, so he'll have to like worm his way around as much as possible. It's one of my favorite playthrough videos because it's not done in real time. He only shows you like the key moments because it's like it's not interesting to know. You know, like how it's only interesting when the guy shows up.
Yeah.
And he does just that part where he's just like, it doesn't stop following you.
Yeah.
And he's like, but he does make it. And it's just funny to see that type of jank play out in any game. So
It's like It Follows or something, man.
Yeah.
Always chasing after you.
So we make our decision.
I went back and said, no, we'll work together.
All right, so then you have to pick up the relic.
Yes.
Matt, I'm assuming you just pick up the relic with
Harriet's
nice and
dead
easy.
body laying there.
Yeah.
and you pass out,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So what happens in yours?
As far as after waking up?
No, what happens in the cutscene? Because apparently it's slightly different depending on the choice.
I do not remember.
I see we all have forgotten this mission because the next one is far more interesting anyways. So
No, I haven't forgotten. So I'll tell you what the difference is. You get a small cutscene of him and Harriet trying to leave, or you get a small cutscene of him trying to leave.
Yeah.
Alright.
And yeah, either way, it happens the same way. So Matt, I hate to tell you this, it doesn't matter. She's still dead.
Yeah.
She's dead in our game too.
So...
Well, then I really was the chosen one, and then it didn't really matter anyway. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, okay. So I'm going to tell you something before we move on to the next mission. Did any of you go back to Throgmorton?
No, I haven't talked to Throgmorton in what seems like months.
I did. And boy, is he not happy to have the bad news.
Oh, right. His lead researcher is dead.
Yes. Then what good are you? Fine. Here's your payment. Get out. All right. Goodbye, sir. I was really happy with that sequence. It was just like, all right. This section has clearly ended. This partnership is over. Thank God I've made friends with other affluent families here. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up now because I will forget at some point. We wake up in a hospital after having visions of doctors experimenting and being chained to the bed and a monster coming over, and then it's Johannes Vanderberg.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Johannes Vanderberg. I'm here to be your friend. He talks and he's like, we're like, hey, do you know, like, where's my shit? And it's like, how did I get here? It's like, I'm here. She's like, you were saved by the fucking ocean people or whatever the fuck, sailors. I'm here because I heard you're admitted. I realized at this point that's a really bad call to call anybody ocean people. Which ones? The fishy ones or the ones that smell of fish? And the yellow man here goes like, my interest was piqued because you're not that type, you're not frail or whatever. It's like, where's Harriet? She's dead, Jim. It's like, all right. And then it's like, where's my belongings? And you're basically like, okay, dude, how do you know about the seal? He's like, I'll tell you later.
Come see me when you have it.
Yeah, come see me when you have it. Alright, thanks, prick. You go downstairs and you're like, oh, I missed out on that. But yeah, you can go talk to the doctor, and the doctor's like, sorry, the doctor tells you, like, Harriet's dead.
Yeah.
And apparently, Drew, did you go into the basement?
I did.
So you got the coroner's report.
I did.
I did not.
Yeah, she died of asphyxiation.
Drowning.
Yeah.
Just died of a
Due
bullet
to-
to the face for me.
Well, lead
Yeah,
poisoning.
well,
but
she's not in your basement then.
Yeah. No, she apparently, according to the report, there was a malfunction with her suit, and during the returning to the surface, she died.
Give me 1 second here. I just need to bring this up because
What are we doing?
Okay. So this is All right. The reason why I have to bring this up because it bothers me. I know it has nothing to do with the case in what we're talking about right now, but it bothers me because I just need to explain to people. Okay, so asphyxiation is like anything that cuts off your air. Do you know the song "Take My Breath" by The Weeknd?
Can you sing it?
I'm not singing it.
Take my breath.
Okay, Drew. If
I
you don't know the song,
I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
That's about drug use. But anyways, okay. So, "Take My Breath" is about like falling in love with someone who asks to be choked or whatever, and it's like I'm not doing that. Is basically the lyrics. I don't have a Wikipedia account, but it drives me insane, and I know someone would change it back, and it's wrong. The song details an entanglement in a romantic relation that ultimately leads to autoerotic asphyxiation. If it's two people, it is not autoerotic. It's just erotic asphyxiation.
Yep.
Okay.
That's true.
And it drives me insane because that is not... yeah, sorry. I just need to vent that frustration out. We've already gone off topic, and it hasn't been my fault previously, so this is just my little deviation for the night. It drives me insane that someone wrote autoerotic asphyxiation and then had the nerve for it to link to erotic asphyxiation.
Well, irregardless.
We're in. Hey guys, we're have you heard about the conspiracy with the weird sigil thing that we found? Sorry, what is it called? The seal.
The seal.
It's Sealgate.
Oh, boo.
Fucking anytime somebody uses that as ending, like this a fake suffix for a word. Yeah. Anyways. Oh yeah, here it is. Return to Throgmorton. Okay. I didn't realize they'd have this. It's completely optional, but according to the job you're hired to do, you really should report back to Robert Throgmorton in his banner. Robert is not happy with your inability to save Professor Doe, and docks your pay. Your reward is a paltry 2 12-gauge shotgun shells.
No.
And, by the way, I was full, so I didn't even get them.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So the hospital records doesn't have who we're looking for, who saved us. They don't have an actual address, but they mentioned that he's a regular at Seven Oaks Bar. So we head back to a bar that we were previously at.
Yep.
I wanted to go back to the one in Grimhaven Bay first. But
we should. That's a better, more interesting bar.
Yeah.
What's that one called? Like Under the Keel? Or
Under the Keel.
Yeah.
Oh, he's out in front of that bar in the first mission. Apparently. I'm looking at this walkthrough to help me remember what to do, because I didn't expect to be the person that would have to do this tonight.
Maybe that's maybe that's
Billy
why I was going to go there.
Billy Drunnen is the man with the yellow scarf closest to the entrance. Eagle-eyed players with the memory of an elephant. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, they understand that... Well, I can't remember the case I played 3 days ago, so clearly... Might recognize Billy Drunnen from the very first mission. He was out front of the Under the Keel bar during your first mission when you arrived at the docks in Grimhaven Bay. Huh. So you talk to him and you're like, yeah, washed up upon the shore. So you're like, alright. I take a little mosey down to the shore. You go there and there's some Stygian little hand crawling things. You beat them dead, and then you find out like there's some scratches on some rocks, and there's a dead body here, and there's some summoning symbols, and there's a vision I see with a knife, and then there's a diving suit that's been like ruined or pulled up or whatever. And then you start putting together the timeline, and you see that Evernote saved you and was trying to leave with the seal, and then some guys showed up, and he killed them with some creatures that he summoned.
Right.
And then you're like, well, fucking Billy's a piece of shit. Lied. So I'm going to go and talk to him again. And he is not there.
Obviously.
You talk to the bartender. The bartender's like, I don't know where the fuck he went. But I can tell you where to find the Blackwood family manor, which is where Evernote was heading. Which I'd already been to, but didn't enter because I couldn't.
No.
Apparently...
Couldn't or hadn't found the right door?
I don't think I could. But maybe. I think the secret doors are sensitive to certain events happening.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. If you knew where they were, could you access them earlier? I assume not.
There are some that are just like any time, but I think some of them you need missions to, and certain evidence to activate. Because even like in the last part of this mission or the previous case, whatever the fuck you want to call it, when you're going through the doors going into Dagon's temple or whatever, even if you have your vision on right away, that symbol doesn't activate until you've looked at the glyph.
Mm.
Apparently, by the way, I didn't know if any of you saw it. There's a notepad on the table instead of where Billy Drunin was, with a glyph sketched on it. And apparently is not evidence and doesn't go into your casebook or lore.
It's weird.
Yeah. Was he also summoning?
No. Maybe he was copying it to look into it. Maybe he was copying what the... I honestly don't know because I didn't see it.
This would be a good skill to have, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we head to Blackwood Manor. I already knew where it was, so I didn't have to look for it. Or did any of you have to?
Oh, I definitely had to look for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently, if you talk to the bartender, he does mark it on your map.
Yeah, I think that's what I did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was a hell of a trek, too.
Yep. Yeah, I had I already had the fast travel near there.
Yeah, I did not. That took a while to get to.
I had to go near here for one of the tomes, I think, for the side mission. So, and I want to just point out something because it's unimportant, but it's one of those like a detail I'm going to point out because I think it was kind of ingenious. Did any of you go and look at the fisherman statue?
I did. It has a Cthulhu face.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So if you look at it from far away, it looks normal.
Yeah.
Like he's got a beard?
It looks like he has a beard. You go up to it, though, and it's like the beard is made out of small tentacles.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I was like, that's a fucking really smart touch. So yeah, you go up, you go around the building trying to find an entrance, and then you're like, oh, look, this... this brick wall doesn't stand out at all. Apparently, apparently the glyphs in the building actually summon the creatures too if you go close to them. I didn't have this issue.
Oh, I definitely did.
Yeah, this was another point where there were a lot of enemies.
Tons of
enemies.
Yeah,
so we go into the house and it's like, oh, lots of wild beasts. And so we start killing through.
What about all of the growths in this house and on the city? Is this just meant to be that it was flooded and it's like refuse and barnacles and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's supposed to be
the city's been wrecked because of the flood.
But it looks like in many places they go like all the way up the buildings. The whole city wasn't that underwater, was it?
I don't think so, but like, how do I put this? Look around the city. There's big spires coming out of everything. I think it's just the idea is that like the ocean is claiming this city one way or another. If it can't sink it, it will like move its shit into the houses.
Yeah, it feels more than like, just a flooding, but certainly.
Because if you go on the outskirts of the city, you can find massive pillars that are like new spikes coming out of the ground.
Yeah, they haven't really talked about it much, but yeah.
Then you fight one of the big boys in the basement. Apparently they're called Acherons. Acheronian.
Yeah. Those guys suck. So I was thinking...
Those are one of my favorite things to look at, though. I love the design of them.
I experimented with it a little bit because I was like, I don't want to fight this guy. Can I just, like, go up the stairs and through a door? No, they can climb stairs and bust open doors.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will not go outside of the house, though.
Huh. Interesting. Didn't know that.
So they just stand at the doorway and I shoot them.
It's just the design of the big creature is so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the back of it, it's like dragging like a hand behind it. It looks like the back end is a person's top of a person's torso.
Yeah.
Ah, the whole thing is just this beautiful, and like, one of the things, I don't know if it's considered true for all of them, but did you do all the doctor's missions?
No, I did not.
Okay, so it kind of explains where some of these creatures come from. So the spitters, the ones that have like their hands attached to their like upper torso and like have like a gaping maw in the center of their face.
Yeah. With weirdly deadly accuracy with their spits.
Yeah.
Dude.
Those ones are formerly people that are alive that are like converted by like other ones of the same type.
Like level 3 mothers.
Well, you go in and you the Lethian. So the Revenant is the human ones. The Immortals are a pain in the ass. I don't know what their lore is. And the Wraith are the ones that are like invisible. Those ones are like the creatures that turn people into Lethians. Apparently. And the giant ones there, the ones that I was just talking about, that you fight in the basement here, it's the Acheronians. They are like a bunch of corpses that become one creature, which is just bothersome on a level I can't describe.
A nice amalgamation.
Like you hear it, so you see it in like a past vision. You hear all the corpses moan at the same time as they're like become one. Yeah. Neat concept. Bothers me regardless, but so we go through and we kill everybody. All the things. Then we go up to the second floor and kill more. And you find out that he's expecting you. You find his like notes, and he tells you like to find him, and fuck, man, sorry, I'm forgetting a lot of this stuff because this usually isn't my role. I usually just jump off somebody else's.
In the basement, you find his little experiments.
Right. The experiments in the basement where all the bodies are buried in the next room.
Well, that didn't work. Got to get the shovel out.
And it's just like, all right, guys, well, you're running out of space.
So basically what's ended up happening is and what we conclude is that he has been finding people with the same, quote, gifts that we have. And seeing as they are part of the chosen, he believes that he can stop the coming of Dagon.
Yeah, I think that's what he wants to do.
Is it Dagon that's being summoned, or is it...
I don't know what it is.
Cathognar, because that name comes later on.
Yeah.
Katiganar, they say, right?
Katiganar, yeah.
Which was weird.
Katiganar?
Yeah, it wasn't the way I thought they were going to pronounce it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
When you make up your own bullshit, you can pronounce it however you want.
That's true.
Apparently. Even though it's a GIF, I refuse to buy into the GIF thing, but still.
But, yeah. From what I can understand, he is trying to stop this from happening. Apparently, there's a cycle, and
he's saying that.
Yeah, he's saying that, but apparently there's a cycle every so many years, and a chosen will basically open the portal to let Katagonon come out.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. He wants to stop it.
He supposedly has deciphered a way to stop it from happening by doing this ritual on a chosen person.
I mean, is he also not just like, you could stop it by just killing all the chosen ones?
I mean, that may be his goal ultimately. I'm not sure.
I mean, why not?
But it seems like there's always another one that comes to replace the other one.
It's
Yeah.
Cyclical bullshit is cyclical bullshit for a reason.
Yeah. Conveniently, they all congregate in this one town, so as long as he stands here, he's got a good chance.
Bullshit just feeds in the bullshit.
Yeah. Well, they're all drawn to this town because I guess it's the closest to the Vale.
It helps with the plot.
Yeah. It's closest to the Vale, I guess. I don't know. But, he was using... he was obviously going to use Harriet to try this experiment. And he believed that with the relic in hand, he could actually perform the ritual correctly. So, he unfortunately, we showed up. He can't do the ritual now with Harriet, but there is still one more chosen. He believes that we are the chosen.
Mistakes on him. Yeah, so we go through and so this is where I fucked up and messaged you, Drew, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And this is when I did the mission for the librarian, actually. So I was like, alright, where do I go? Because I didn't realize there was the key for that door with the eye on it, the EODI, was in the house, because I think you pick up a note that's above the key on the ritual table.
Yes.
Yeah, they do this a few times in this game.
Yes. Luckily, I didn't leave the house.
I did. Oh my god. I had to look it up. I'm like, dude, I'm like, I must have missed something.
Yeah.
And I did, and it's not like it was like, well, this is just a bad fucking idea. Like, literally, if you put this anywhere else, I would have found it.
Yeah.
So we go back upstairs, we open the locked door, and it basically tells us, like, there's a history here and how Evernote is a failure.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the visions like he's supposed to.
Yeah.
And that everybody's going back to the sea and fuck this kid.
Yeah, and he was told his whole life. Yeah.
And then, so we're like, oh, okay, so they met at the cannery. So let's go to the cannery, and well, let's find out where the cannery is. Did you look at the painting?
Painting? Oh, yeah. The
painting.
The weird
the
looking...
fat lady with the skull, who is definitely a lady and is also a Innsmouther, although you don't see any lady Innsmouthers in-game.
Yeah, I did see that.
Is that the only one?
I think so. I didn't see any others.
It's just a painting, too. Maybe they're all extinct. I don't know.
Just a painting. And it drops your sanity a good portion.
Yeah.
At this point, dude, is why? It's a creepy painting, sure, but, like, I mean, come on. So, yeah, then we can go and... Now we go to City Hall. This is an element that, like, I love, but I also hate, because it's just also fucking... It's a fast travel away.
Yeah.
So we go to City Hall. If it wasn't so obvious, I think it would be better if it wasn't, like, obvious of where I have to go to look for information. Sometimes the clues are better. It's like, okay, well, this person's a criminal, but they're injured. Where do I look to find their information? Do I go to the hospital, or do I go to the... That's a more interesting concept.
Yeah.
But
looking for records, historical records, is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Again, I hate to be like this. Give us some just fucking incorrect information.
Yeah, you don't
Right.
usually have to sift through a lot of incorrect information.
Right. So, like, if you gave me, like, if I asked for certain aspects and you gave me something and I thought I was right, and
That
I'm
sucks, though, dude.
only on hard, only on hard,
I-
only on hard, right? And maybe on normal be like, this may not be right,
Yeah.
right? A little warning goes a long way.
Yeah.
But my thing is like,
I mean, if they telegraphed it as a decision you have to make, maybe that would be better because you'd know at least where you messed up. My problem with something
Right.
like that is I don't know if I am right, but it didn't trigger. Is it a glitch? Did I make a mistake? Are there other places I can go? Did I pick one of three? Like,
I would have it like once you go through the building and kill everything or whatever. If there was no evidence, have your character say, I clearly took a wrong turn there.
Sorry for murdering everybody here.
wrong house.
Just something. I know. I'm not usually the person to say like make a game more difficult, but like I feel like this part of the game became too trivialized. Like it's more difficult when I go to when I go to the library or go to City Hall, it's almost pointless. You could just give me that information.
I'll tell you.
When I go to the police station, at least there seems to be a little bit more in depth. And the doctor's thing I don't go to too often, but
I'll tell you what's actually
and the
difficult.
person's usually there.
Is trying to find the door of the fucking cannery.
Yep.
I didn't have an issue. with
Oh
that.
my god,
I walked
dude!
in.
I walked all around this freaking building, and I was just like, "Where the hell is this door?" I see multiple signs that say cannery on it, and I'm like, "Okay, well, it's got to be around here somewhere." I finally had to look up a picture of where the door was.
Wow. I like when I walked in. There's a bunch of
Really weird dudes.
straight out of like a shitty gangster movie. Yeah, we're here for you. And it's like, what? And it's like, yeah, if anybody comes and you do your thing, don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, the moment Evernote comes in, we're gonna blast them. And it's like,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, so I go and do my thing, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, maybe I like these guys, Part of me is like, maybe these are the good guys. And I go into the basement, and I'm like looking at the stuff, and I'm like, oh, there's the seal. And then it's like, I don't even know how to. It's like, and it's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to go fight monsters upstairs. I'll walk upstairs, and there's everybody slaughtered, and Evernote just standing there.
Yeah.
He's like, so... Oh, and we figured out that the Chosen go mad eventually, too. So he's like, alright, well, what's your decision? Do you want me to take it out of you, or, like...
Yeah, perform the ritual or don't.
Yeah. So... And he's been watching everybody, too. He's been monitoring the Chosen. So... I will, before we go on, point out that this is where I realized he is in the process of becoming an Innsmouther.
Evernote is?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks about right.
Because when
Is
you
he a late
first,
bloomer?
I mean, how long does it take to turn into one? I don't fucking know.
I didn't know you turned into one. I thought you were just born that way.
Oh no, you're born, and then when you become an adult, it slowly happens.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you look normal for the first little while, because if you look at his neck, but the thing is like I don't. Here, I'll show you the picture because one of his eyes is going foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he definitely's
Like
got that
all
little
the-
bit of a lizard skin on the jaw.
Yeah, that didn't share, I don't think. Oh no, it did. Okay, you just have to click on it. So, like, if you look, his neck has the gill cuts, but it's like, the thing is with this character, it's like, is he just losing his mind and he's cut into himself, or are the gills starting?
That's a good question.
But his eyes are changing, so it's like, I'm not sure if he's crazy or not. His hair is slowly coming out, his jowls look like they're hanging a bit more. after you first meet him the first time and stuff. It's like he looks like he's falling apart, but it's like, well, if you were ready to go into the deep ocean, maybe this is what you'd look like. So here's where I start. I have to ask, what did you do? Do you accept or do you reject?
I reject.
Yeah, I saw a lot of dead bodies down there. I don't want to be a part of that.
Okay, we have made different decisions.
Okay.
So tell me about rejecting Evernote's ritual.
He says, well, fine, I'll kill you. And pulls out a gun, and then I shoot him.
Yep.
Did he summon creatures?
Yeah, he summoned some creatures.
Huh.
I just went back down the stairs to the basement and waited for each one of them to come down, and I shot them as they came down.
I accepted.
So what does that entail?
So, I get a trophy. Or an achievement, I should say.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, alright, go downstairs and lie on the table. So I'm like, alright, sure, fuck it. Because he said something to me while talking to me. And I went, because I was still on the fence. I'm like, alright, well, he's crazy and he's been failing at this ritual. I'm like, I don't see, to me it's like, I hate to metagame on this, but I'm like, I just don't see them ending it here. So I'm curious to know what's going to happen, because if he takes it out of me, do I have to then stop him? The answer is he does not take the dreamer's seed, or whatever the fuck it's called, out. In fact, he might have awoken it. Because I wake up with a splitting headache off the table after a little cutscene where I start floating or whatever, and Evernote starts the ritual. And I see that he's dead on the floor.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, alright, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Did you kill him?
So, you do your old detective vision thing. Like, the split happens, and you go into the... So I examine the ritual table. The ritual table's broken. It's a stone slab. I look at Evernote's body, and it's like, oof, he's dead. And then the tear happens. So I go into the tear, and I can see that Evernote is performing the ritual. My body's floating. And then he goes, Charles, what are you doing? Return to the altar. And as I walk off the altar, and it's like, you can see that I'm summoning the tentacles that are at the bottom of the ocean. Like, they're small at first.
The ones, like, in your
they're
arm?
Following me. Similar. They're coming out of the ground.
Okay.
So they look like the tentacles at the bottom of the ocean when you're diving that attack you. And then it's... you hear this, like, demon voice. It's like, this one is beyond your reach. Your path ends here. And it's Charles, and he's choking Evernote as the tentacles loom overhead. And, I'm like, oh my god, I fucking killed him. And then I leave to go to the Crown Theater. Because I'm like, well, I have it now, and he's dead, and, like, clearly this fucking ritual didn't work. So, I have to go talk to the guy that knows what's going on.
Yeah, I figured it's never worked before, so it's unlikely to automatically start now.
Yeah.
Just don't trust him.
I was kind of hoping, because I'm making these decisions without knowing the outcome, I was kind of hoping that there would be a sort of shift there on, like, okay, so now it's not in me, but I realize I've made a bad decision because now it's in somebody's hands who I shouldn't have trusted.
And there goes your new villain, basically.
Well, the new villain is apparently me.
I think it's
so. Then I go to the theater.
It's always been you.
I mean, not incorrect.
Yeah. Yeah, we go to the theater, which is where
Gotta take that seal back to Vanderberg.
Vanderberg.
You fight some creatures and some dead cops in the alley.
Yep.
Go inside and Vanderberg's dead.
He's dead. Yeah, Vanderberg's dead. Shot twice in the chest. And after doing some investigating of this area, you notice somebody. He was doing some kind of ritual seance, yeah, with somebody.
Seance.
And
they had the Ouija board or whatever the fuck it is in the center.
It's the Luigi board. Thank you very much. But yeah, as they're doing this little seance, somebody just busts in and shoots him.
Someone that's seemingly posing as Charles Reed.
Yeah.
I do like that the things you need to find were well labeled by the police officers who were here before us.
Yeah.
And the kicker is, in the flashback, oh, that guy has a yellow scarf. He's hiring this man to pretend to be me.
Ho, ho, ho. There you go.
Billy.
But, yeah. So somebody broke in and shot him and then ran away.
Left his hat. How kind.
And killed a couple of cops along the way.
Left his hat so I could view the past that I wasn't there for.
It's part of
How convenient.
It's part of the mind's eye.
Man, he did no fingerprints, but I have his hat, and then you just stare into it and see into the past. Like, how convenient! I can see who hired you.
Yes, it's like if a key had fallen out of his pocket and it was the key to like his house.
Yeah.
A little convenient.
And then when we leave the theater, the police show up and say, "You're under arrest for the murder of."
Did you agree to go with them, or did you say, "I'm not going with you"?
No,
I don't know you.
No, I told them I didn't kill the guy, and they said, "No, you're under arrest." And I was like, "All right, fine."
Yep.
I have to quickly see if that is an option that makes this fucking.
It would be interesting if you were like now a fugitive for the rest of the game.
I felt like a fugitive because when those enemies came out of the alleyway and I started shooting at them, a cop came after me and started shooting at me. I wanted to be like, just turn around. These things are monstrosities. Don't shoot at me, idiot.
Yeah.
Huh, okay, so...
What do you see?
Okay, so I'm looking at, just kind of skipping ahead here to see. This person that wrote this on NeoSeeker, I'm just going to give them credit, just in case somebody wants to. Berkowitz.
David?
B-U-R-Q-A-W-I-T-Z. I really hope it's not a fucking callback, Jesus Christ. It's funny because literally the next case is called self-defense. So this person said PS4 versus PS4 Pro. Every time I've played this on the PS4 Pro, the area ends immediately after the retrocognition, which is apparently what that's called, and I'm forced to go to the police station. Every time I played it on a normal PS4, the cutscene forcing me to the police station doesn't occur until I leave the theater and go out to the street. This appears to be a slight difference in the game depending on the system that you're playing on.
Really?
Of course, it's possible the difference had to do with the choices I made earlier in the game. Perhaps. For
me, it was definitely after I left the building.
Yeah.
And then left the alleyway.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not that case, because the person here says, perhaps when you side with Brutus Carpenter, the cops show up later than when you side with Graham. No, because I walked outside and it was I sided with Graham. So, I guess that tells me how the bail works. Interesting. Huh. very smart writing. Oh, damn. I'm not going to get into it, but there's something that happens in the next section. And they wrote it in such a way that it works.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's brilliant. They only had to write that once.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see that then.
And there's a side mission that's called All That Glitters that shows up. Apparently on the desks of the police station there's a file that gives you access to the optional case. And it's a very difficult mission. You'll fight tough monsters all the way through, and the buildings you visit are confusing and difficult to navigate. You typically won't find enough loot to get back the bullets you expend, and you will slowly eat through your ammo supplies as you go through the mission. Furthermore, there's very little reward for completing this mission. You don't get a costume, and the gems and trinkets you collect are worthless in Oakmont's economy, which is based solely on using bullets as money. Gems and jewelry have no value. Can you buy anything with bullets?
Not other than story based.
Have I ran? Yeah, I haven't ran into anybody other than flipping them a bullet and being like, "Here's your drink cupboard, son."
Yeah. That's a good freaking question.
Yeah.
Because if bullets are your currency, what are you buying? You're buying crafting materials to make what? More bullets.
Bullets. Yeah. Huh.
Or is it purely story based, where it's like you just buy drinks and stuff in hotel rooms?
I think it's story based. Also, funny enough, this side mission only gives you 350 XP. Holy shit! I am not doing this.
Yeah, sounds good.
Not if it's it doesn't say anything about the lore. It doesn't say anything. It literally, when the guy keeps putting up red flags and just keeps saying there's gonna be more shit here to fight. Expect a difficult fight. Expect shit. You'll be attacked by a random group of wild beasts at some point. Be ready. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I give that guy credit. That dude made a hellacious walkthrough.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
This is the one you've been using?
Mm-hmm.
I just stumbled upon it because I have
No, it's
been using something else at times, but this is much better.
Yeah, it's an impressive walkthrough. Details.
I appreciate the images and the detail and the collapsible. So when I don't need to see that bullshit,
yep,
I don't have to.
Okay, and apparently you can look up your own criminal file.
I was going to ask if that piece was dynamic too, because when I went to I think when I was being arrested and I said I didn't do it, and he's like, "Oh, I know you. I've got your file. You're waving around your gun in the alleyway and you murdered some people." And I was like, "Wait, is that based on what I've done in the game?"
I mean, you have done all of it. You have had to kill civilians, or not civilians, but people. You have broken in places.
Yeah.
But
you have eluded chests.
But I have
survived this long.
Twice had the police come after me and had people cower in fear for me having waved a gun in the...
I haven't had the police come after me once.
So my rap sheet will be very long because, as I said before, every time I talk to an NPC that I can't kill, I pull my gun out and aim it at them. No! Anyway.
You're a terrible human being.
No. Charles Reed is a terrible human being.
Oh,
yeah.
This is the dissociation.
He's a monster.
That happens right before you're pulled into a police station, and they're like, you killed those people. And it's like, the clown killed those people.
That's right.
Right.
No, that was not me. That was Charles Reed. He has a backpack on and a fedora.
You don't understand. When I'm in the clown costume, it's like I'm a different person.
Yeah. So we're going to stop there, but we do have an email. Email comes in from Dustin. It's titled, "Not as boring as that one war." It says, "What's up, guys? I missed last week, so let's catch up. I decided I was going to kill all the fish people, but when I found the guard making toys for orphans, I spared him. I decided to help the professor poison the fish because why not? I hate this town." When I tracked down the stolen potatoes, I called him a thief and brought them back. I didn't understand the point of stealing when everything was being given away for free. I ended up siding with the old man since he's probably going to die of old age soon anyway. And his son,
I mean, all right, this is logic still.
And his son was creepy.
True.
Now for the new stuff. I asked for a magic trick and thought that part was pretty funny and killed the wizard and his buddies. In the cave, I told Harriet there can be only one and killed her. I was hoping for a Highlander achievement.
The fact that they didn't make a Highlander a joke there. I'm always disappointed.
Especially when they like their in-jokes with like Big Lebowski and
they could easily have done that, or they could have just been like, and there were mountains everywhere if they wanted to go Aquatine. I was trying to jog my memory of the deal with the devil investigation, and I remember the Yellow King gang was already in the cannery waiting for Evernote when I let them stay. The name is a nod to the book The King in Yellow by Robert Chambers, which is a collection of 10 short stories written in 1895 that was heavily influenced Lovecraft in his writing. There's some good stories in it. I ended up not doing Evernote's ritual and just killing him. Pro tip, hold R trigger to run and speed up your boat.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, if you hold the right trigger like running, the boat moves
constantly.
Faster.
I didn't know you could run in this game.
I run everywhere. The streets are way too long to be meandering down.
I have jogged in this entire game.
Jesus Christ.
This is why tutorials are good, people. Son of a bitch.
Oh no!
I mean, it's not amazingly faster. It's a little faster.
Well, you know what? That's better than nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to drop the volume of me. Oh my god.
Oh no. Okay. I like going around to random people and policemen in the street.
Meander to every fucking location. Oh no.
Yeah. I have.
You're so slow. Days and nights have gone by.
That's why I was just like, man, this is a hike. I don't want to do this.
All the monsters are coming at you. You're just like trying to get away as fast as possible by walking.
I know. Alright. I like going around to random people and policemen in the street and whipping out the camera, and they say stick their hands up and say, "Take it easy, newcomer."
Oh no.
One time I pointed my gun at someone just to see what happened, and the lady took out her own gun and started shooting at me, so I had to kill her. I did not know you could do that.
I've not had anyone fire back.
Yeah.
Because you shoot first.
That's right. Every person you run into, whether it's a bum or a policeman or a cult member, always yells at me for being a newcomer. How's the cutscenes look on the upgraded versions? My Xbox One game cutscenes look straight out of PS2 days.
I know what he's talking about. It's funny because the cutscenes in Call of Cthulhu, not to keep bringing that up, but it is the only thing that it's on par with. They have a weird compression problem. It's not that the cutscenes necessarily look because like the modeling is off. It's because the compression on them is weird. There's a slight compression.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of artifacting, and the blacks are never. The game is darker than the cutscenes.
Yeah, it looks like there's a white film over the screen.
Yeah. That's the same issue.
Yeah.
There's just minor artifacting in some of the colors, but it could be because that stupid filter or whatever is on top.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad to know that I should have known better because why would they go and re-render all that stuff, but still.
Yeah, it's weird. The random muted trumpet with the long note when you're running around is just perfect for the atmosphere. That's all for now.
It definitely does nail the atmosphere.
Yeah. There's definitely some horror-sounding ambient notes in there, along with they mix in that noir, like, big band trumpet stuff.
The best track for, like, okay, shit's about to happen, is there's this, I want to say this industrial, like, compression's not the sound, but like industrial sort of sound of like breathing when you're near monsters, especially like in the danger zones, because it goes like, and it's like, okay, I know what's happening right now.
Yeah,
there's something nearby.
Yeah,
and it's usually a big thing.
Slightly
I love that.
Reminds me of the Mr. X
I was
stuff.
just about to say, the Mr. X stuff in the Resident Evil 2 remake is the industrial sort of soundtrack that takes over when he gets close. It's very similar to that. That game does it better though, because that is a constant enemy, and so you need that heads up. I like the sound of it because I like weird industrial noise, but it is a bit weird because that'll start playing before enemies have even spawned.
Yeah.
Sinking City.
Yeah,
I know I'm in a danger area. I literally had to enter the fence.
I saw the sign. Yeah.
I had to basically say, "Are you okay with getting killed here?" And I had to press A to be like, "Yeah, I'm okay with this."
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for us. Are we going to try and finish this game next week? There's 3 chapters left, I believe.
There is 3 chapters left. Let me just quickly. I'm not going to spoil this for myself. Self-defense looks pretty decently long. This next one after looks about half as long, but then Into the Depths. So I would say we could probably do it. Self-defense looks like it's the longest portion, although this person writes out every piece, right?
Right.
So every option they're kind of following. It doesn't look like there's as many options in the chapter after or the chapter after that. So, I mean, it's like, do you want to...
So is it more linear or is it shorter?
I don't know. That's the problem, right? Like, I just don't know. And so, I'm wondering, do we do 2 and then have the last chapter be 1 episode and then just kind of wrap up our thoughts, or...
I will leave it up to you guys. How do you want to do it?
Let's see how far we get.
I'd say, like, let's go for... Let's see how long it takes to complete this next chapter, because again, that one looks longer than the other 2, just judging by the amount of entries that this person wrote down. I don't want to look at it because otherwise I spoil myself, and that's not really fun. And then the 2 chapters after look relatively shorter, so like maybe we can blast through this. Let's just see how long it takes to do self-defense.
Okay, play it by ear.
And after that, it just depends on if we're doing both or only one more. So
okay, that works for me.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you would like to send us an email, it is drew@ztgd.com. You can also tweet to us. I am at DMLFury. Matt is at REMGS. And the podcast itself is at ZTGD Phoenix Down. But that's going to wrap it up for this week. We do appreciate everybody listening. And, get those emails in. We have decided that our next game will be Yakuza 6. Speaking of Yakuza,
I mean that's a really hard decision, guys. After Yakuza 5, where were you going to go, right?
Yeah. Well, we didn't know if we wanted to do a different game before Yakuza 6, but
I mean, you have Judgment, you have Lost Judgment, you have Fist of the North Star.
All right. I don't know. I would love to explore the Judgment series, but I don't know if I want to throw those in for Phoenix Down. You'll
just enjoy those ones on your own.
The fear I have is that we've played 7 of these games and we have 2 more to go through. And then in 2024 we have 8 to go through.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Yakuza anymore after 7, right?
Totally different.
No, it's
Like a Dragon now.
Yeah, which is what they were originally called in Japan.
I'm just helping you get out of the possibility of having to play number 8 for fucking Phoenix Down, so you can just enjoy it. All right.
I mean, it's going to be 2 years before we get to it, so because it doesn't come out until 2024.
I'm just gonna say, by the way, that like secretly one of the best Yakuza games is the Fist of the North Star: Lost Paradise.
It is very good. It is.
Oh, it's so fucking great. Yakuza meets Fist of the North Star, which is basically Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then hyper-violent.
Hyper-violence. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's not coins coming out. No, it's just blood. Ah. Glorious.
Yes.
He does the "you're already dead" line.
Yeah. No, it's legit.
And then you watch a man explode into guts. You drive around like a truck in the middle of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
You get out, you play baseball with like a giant fucking I-beam.
This all actually happens in the game. It's not. We're not kidding.
They need the baseball minigame in from Yakuza, but they're like, how do we throw this in here? It's like, what if he used a giant I-beam? Because he's super strong.
Send it.
It's like, sure. You mix drinks at the bar.
Yep.
As the guy.
Sounds nice and random.
Yeah. Yep. But
yeah.
I think you need to watch the Yakuza movie, by the way.
I've seen the Yakuza movie.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
You're a purveyor of fine shit.
It's decent. It's basically
decent.
It's a retelling of the first Yakuza game.
It's weird though.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
Which of course Yakuza is weird, so whatever.
Yeah, but still.
But that's going to be it for us. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, I am Drew.
And I am Matt.
And I'm Anthony, and I'm sorry for the deviations in this episode and the volume problems in this episode for me laughing at Drew.
He's deviant.
It's fine. It's fine. But we're going to get out of here.
The man doesn't know how to run.
No, I do now. So thank you, Dustin, for giving me that little tidbit. But we will be back next week with the continuation and possible conclusion to The Sinking City.